Welcome to Ashes of Creation, a game that throws the MMO genre straight into the kitchen and asks, what if we turn the fryer up and let the players cook? Instead of neatly plated quest hubs and theme park rides, this world can rise, collapse, or get completely burnt depending on who's playing and how they play. This is Checkpoint Dunion, where every game gets a taste test, and today we're stepping away from those quick snacks and repeatable bites and tackling something that's been slow cooking for years. Ashes of Creation. After spending time in games built around these fast loops and instant feedback, Ashes of Creation feels a very different dish. It's heavier, it's more deliberate, and way more ambitious, aiming to be a long-term MMO where progression isn't just about your character getting stronger, but the entire settlements around getting fried, rebuilt, or left to burn. This game is currently in early access, so this review is focused on the current builds that I've played through. What's already cooked, what's undercooked, what might end up burnt if not handled carefully as development continues. Grab your gear, step into the kitchen, and try not to set this whole place on fire, because Ashes of Creation, the fryer doesn't stay hot, it decides the menu. Stepping into Ashes of Creation feels like walking into this kitchen where nothing's microwave ready. There's no buffet line telling you where to go next. It's more of the game gives you the fryer to the players and says, get the cooking. At the center of the idea, it's a player-driven world. It uses this node system where areas can grow, change, collapse based on all the player activity in the area. Where questing, combat, and gathering all feeds into those nearby settlements. Invest that time, you can turn an area into a city. Ignore it, you can watch it collapse and get burnt. The world isn't static, it's shaped by the people. Combat blends this traditional MMO tab targeting with more action-focused movement, where you're managing positioning, cooldowns, ability timing across 8 different archetypes, being 4 of them just a list of fighter, mage, ranger, or cleric. The full class combination isn't live yet, but there's already enough here to start your theory crafting and how roles and builds will expand. What helps is how everything ties back into that world where just fighting enemies isn't about leveling up. It directly contributes to node growth and progression. Every encounter feeds into something larger than just your character. Whereas transversal part, it reinforces that philosophy. There's no fast travel, so moving through the world takes time, and you're walking, riding mounts, or learning the map, which slows the pace but makes the world feel larger and more grounded. It also could feel empty. It's still in early access though, so not everything is fully cooked yet. Balance and systems are evolving, but even now, Ashes of Creation makes its goal clear. This is an MMO that wants players invested into the world, not just rushing to the end game content. I gotta hand it to them. I really did like how they started the early game. As soon as you spawn in, deciding on which side you want to be, they have all the weapons scattered around so you could test and wonder what weapons will work best for your class or what weapon you want to use in general. You get these 2 beautiful areas being Lionhold or Dozen Call if you want to start off in the mountains or you want to start south in the Riverlands. It does really well without holding your hand and giving you the basic quests that you would anticipate from an MMO. But if you start on the Dozen Call, you could probably end up finishing all that in about 5 hours to finish that whole quest line over there until you're forced to run down south. That said, the onboarding is a little bit rough. The tutorial are minimal, which I love, and the UI explanations could be a little unclear at times, and for important systems like the node progression and long-term goals aren't always well communicated up front. If you're new to sandbox style MMOs, there's definitely a learning curve that can feel steeper than it needs to be. Travel plays a big role here. With limited fast travel, you spend a lot of time running around, and there's not a time where I didn't feel like I wasn't. It helps the world feel larger and grounded, but it also means early progression can feel slow and static, especially if you're still figuring out where you're supposed to be. Because this is early access, some of that friction feels intentional and some of it feels unfinished. There's a strong foundation, and I love the foundation, but the early game still needs a better guidance and polish to help new players who aren't veterans of this genre. If you're willing to be patient and learn as you go, the early hours can be rewarding, but Ashes Creation is very clear on what kind of MMO it wants to be. One that expects players to engage with the world and not rush through it. Crafting in Ashes of Creation ended up being one of my favorite parts of the experience so far. mainly because it actually asks you to slow down and not throw ice into the fryer, but throw actual ingredients. Where the materials aren't interchangeable here, if you mix a blue ore with a white ore, you don't get something neutral, you get a green ore. That decision is locked the moment you process it, so you're constantly weighing what's worth refining now and what's best saved for later. There's no undo button, which makes every choice feel deliberate. Processing also runs on real-world time, not just in-game progress. When something's refining, you're waiting minutes and sometimes longer. I think the longest I waited was 4 hours before it's ready. That can feel slow, especially early on, but it also weighs into the system. Crafting doesn't feel disposable, it's earned throughout the world. It gives you a wonderful amount of flexibility too. You can do all the gathering, processing, and crafting on a single character if you really wanted to, but it gets expensive fast. The time, the resources, the investment, and the gold pile up quickly, making specialization or cooperation with other players the smarter path. It's a system that rewards planning and patience. While it won't be for everyone, it clicked with me more than I expected. The crafting isn't busy work. It's a meaningful part of this world, and for me, the strongest system in the current builds. Using Unreal Engine 5 makes this game beautiful. Every area looks extremely handcrafted. Every cavern I've explored is beautiful. The world is extremely lively. Everything is out of this world good. The graphics are not what you would anticipate, but for how long this game has been working after the 8 years, oh my goodness gracious, this looks amazing. There are a few parts when you're traveling the world, some areas can feel like placeholders, but at the end of the day, it is amazing for what these guys have done. I'm very, very impressed. Everything feels immersive. The graphics are amazing. The visuals from abilities are out of this world as well. There's nothing I cannot say bad about this. Everything in this game is gorgeous. And I found myself lost just sitting on a rock staring off into the distance. I gotta say, like, there's nothing bad I can say about it. It's phenomenal. It's really well done. Ashes of Creation is an ambitious MMO that clearly is still cooking, but the vision is already on the plate. The player-driven world and the deep crafting system make it stand out, even in the rough onboarding and unevenness that shows you that it's still a work in progress. If you're patient and enjoy MMOs where planning matters and the world reacts to the player inside of it, there's a lot to like here. For now, Ashes of Creation receives a quality 8 out of 10 rings. This is Checkpoint Dunion, where every game gets a taste test, and we'll see you in the next one.